Yolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another Let's Play. And as we all know, after the tournament is before the tournament, and there definitely will be another tournament, I believe at least, before the next arc, so we better get prepared. And because of that, I need to stack up on some loot, and for this, I'm gonna take you with me for some Dominion solo armadas today. That's why we're here in Dominion space. Of course, I'm going to the level 60 systems, but I didn't only send my cube. That would be just enough to defeat these armadas here. But I also brought my Defiant for one reason. If we look at the Defiant and its abilities, it increases addict rewards by 750% when using the Defiant. So the addicts are another thing for the elite exchange in the Bajoran refinery. The Bajoran faction. The refinery was glowing as well, that's why I went there. So below the exchanges for the armadas, the uncommon loot exchange, the rare loot exchange, the epic loot exchange, you have the elite loot exchange, and here you need those Dominion Solo Armada addicts. And you see I don't have enough for the big exchange anymore. There you get more of the directives for the normal Dominion Armadas, plus you get some ship parts. I'm still upgrading 5-star ships. At some point, it's supposed to work that you can scrap those ships. It wasn't possible for me so far, but in the future it's supposed to work. And so I want to have those ship parts as well to max them, and then to scrap them to get some more material for my 6-star ships. And so that's why I want to have the ship parts as well, which I get from the addicts. And it's like the Borg solo armadas we recently did. The Borg Type 03 that we did. The normal Borg we haven't done yet, so we still have to do those. But they're working with, they just need 1.5 minutes, but you can speed them up so you don't spend too much time here, and that's what I'm always doing. The only thing I need to do is to send 2 ships in now because I want more of the addicts. We can have a look at the chest I just got. So it's another 93,000 of those Armada credits. And then we just speed up the next one after the Defiant arrived. I really do like the Defiant. And mine looks a bit dark because I've got the skin on it. If you can see it right there. It even shows here in the galaxy that the skin is attached. It's a bit laggy again today. Although the patches are all done, I think. But nevertheless, if we look at the Defiant Advantage, I really like that skin. The original Defiant, of course, is a cult ship from Deep Space Nine. And I was a bit disappointed when it was introduced into this game because the Defiant could throw quite a punch in the series. I mean, initially it was designed to fight the Borg. So it was a pure battleship, what the Federation usually doesn't do. And in that case, it really could throw a punch in the fight against the Dominion. It was destroyed because of the special weapon of the Breen, but then the USS Sao Paulo was renamed Defiant and replaced it. But it was a really strong ship. And then in the game here, it's a ship that can strengthen other ships with its abilities, which I haven't used yet because my Borg cube won't need that. But I could do, of course. So if I click here, I could reinforce my Borg cube. Got enough of those materials to do that. But it's important on lower levels when you get started with these solo armadas, but not on my level. I don't need any reinforcements anymore. But I really struggled in the very beginning when I started with these armadas, and I needed the Enterprise, I guess it was at the time, and the D4 or something. It's so long ago, but Also, DS9 was introduced when I was playing on this server. So even that stuff here was something I haven't played on any other server, only on this one. So since I started playing on this server, most of the stuff that's in the game nowadays, especially all the extra grinds, have been introduced since I started playing on this server. And so there are a lot of things I've only done once, and not the 3 times that I was playing this game over the years. So that's always interesting for me, and sometimes hard to make videos about stuff that was introduced while I was playing here a long time ago. Sometimes I really have to do some extra research again, because there's stuff I haven't done in ages, or there's stuff I have done a lot, but nowadays it's so easy for me that I rarely remember how hard it was in the first place when it all got started. And I know that the Dominion Armadas were quite a challenge when I was on that level when they were introduced. And it was really something everybody was working on to finally manage to defeat the lowest level Dominion Armadas here. And yeah, that's something that's quite interesting. Although the game changed so much since I started on the server, that some things that are there nowadays, if you just got started with the game, things are so much easier for you today than it was when players that are playing longer were on the same levels. Now the uncommon ones are gone. Now we can concentrate on the rare ones. Those are the ones where I need to collect loot for the next tournament, because the one nice thing is there are 2 tasks that bring you 10,000 tournament points that can be done twice during one tournament if you do it already on the first day, and they can easily be done. And that is or claim or get, or whatever that's said in English, 500 epic directives for these Dominion Armadas, and get 500 epic directives for the Borg solo armadas, not the Borg Type 03. I mean the original Borg solo armadas that start in Romulan space. And if you can do that on day 1, both of them, you have 20,000 points for the tournament, and the cooldown time is short enough that you can do it once more at the end of the tournament. Of course, that requires that you have enough of the loot to do the exchanges twice in either the Borg refinery or the Bajoran faction. So we can go there while the Armada is running. That's no hazard space, so there's no hurry. You see this rare loot exchange. If you can exchange 2 chests, it brings you those 500 Dominion Solo Armada directives in the epic form, and you need 500 of those to complete the 10k task. And the cooldown after doing that is short enough that if you do it on day 1, that you can do it once more during the tournament. And that, combined with the exchange in the Borg refinery, if you have enough loot from those Solo Armadas as well. Where's the Borg again? There's Borg Tech. The tournament is far away enough that I could do the exchange here. But that exchange as well, the rare solo exchange, brings you the epic Borg directives as well. And so overall, just by taking care of having enough loot for those 2 Armada types, you can get 40k points in the tournament. And that's why I always take care that I stack up enough of the loot. For, I guess it was a German Let's Play I filmed yesterday with them. I went to Borg space to do those Borg solo armadas. I will do it at another time with you as well, to stack up some loot. And today I'm stacking up my loot for the Bajoran, so I will definitely have enough for the next tournament to do this rare exchange twice. And somebody else seems to have the same idea here for doing these armadas. You can take, we take a quick look at that before starting the next one, about what to do when you start this armada. You see there's a 63 player an Ops 63 player with 3 ships. You can use up to 3 ships in these armadas, and when you're on a lower level, especially when you get started with this, you need 3 strong ships. And we can have a quick look. You can see it doesn't even say anymore that it's 3 ships, but it must be 3 ships if he's coming with 3 ships. I haven't used 3 ships in ages. But there's another one with 3 ships from my alliance, a level 62. I'm doing them. Let's see, who is it? Oh, it's Falke. You see he's got here the Enterprise D, the Borg Cube, and the Crozier. That should be no problem for him. With a bigger cube, as I said, you can do them easily as well. But you also see that they are speeding up the armadas because you want to do more of them. If you go to that space, you want to do a number of those armadas later when you easily can defeat them. And so speeding up is always the thing to do so that you can really do a number of those. But it's getting quite crowded here, and there are 2 level 60 systems, so just let's fly over here. We don't need to jump for a 20-second flight. The Defiant is even faster at warp than my cube I saw. The cube needed 22 seconds and the Defiant somewhat 16 seconds or so. So let's have a look if there are so many players here in the other... Oh, now I know why they came over. There are far more players in here than in the other one. But never mind. So there are still some, so let's take an uncommon one. But in this system it gets a bit more laggy, but the Defiant will follow. And then we will speed that up too. That's probably one of the events that are running at the moment. They are often very different for G4 players, G5 players, G6 players. And so I have nothing where I have to do Dominion armadas at the moment. But it might be that they have. And so that could be the reason why it's so crowded here. If you see this video and you just had a Dominion Armada event, let me know. I don't have one. So it's only laggy. It hasn't crashed yet, so that's good. But I still can take the time for a little advertisement, because sometimes viewers have funny ideas. So if you ever have thought about supporting my work here on Star Trek Fleet Command, have a look in the video description or the pinned comments or on Discord about the action plan for stable STFC. That's kind of an invention from one of my viewers that I just accepted, so to speak, and I'm directing most of the support in that direction to make the filming easier in the future, in the distant future, I have to say. But just have a look if you're interested in supporting my work. It's all there. Has to do with all the crashes we've often seen. So at the moment, only laggy, that's all fine, and not crashing. I'm always happy when it's not crashing. But you see how easy it is to do these armadas depending on the amount of people being here. It also helps with the respawning, what he's doing at the moment, by killing some hostiles, because the hostiles and the armadas count together in a system for the spawning rates. And so it sometimes helps destroying some hostiles to respawn some armadas. And the Lions started one as well. But that's also a reason why I always speed up, so that's nicer for other players, you know. I told you a couple of times when I was doing the Zindi armadas on Wednesdays, what I hate the most is because of the little amount of armadas there. It's only 3 armadas with a bad respawn rate, and then people not speeding them up. That's the biggest nuisance you can have on a Wednesday. Because our big players, of course, take our small players with us, so they also get some of the loot. We help them especially in the bigger system, they can launch one of those with an NX-01 if that's the only ship that has the warp range for them to get there. But they get the starting chest, and the starting chest has a lot of loot in it for them, especially compared to their level and the level we're doing with the biggest Xindi armadas. That's always another point of the team play I'm always nagging about in my videos. No, I don't want to get the hostile, I want to get the armada. And so you can help lower level players a lot by letting them start there, either with an NX-01 if they don't have anything else that can reach that system, or by opening a rift with your eviscerator for them and then have them start this armada so they get the starting boxes. Yeah, and I didn't jinx it. It happens regularly, as you know. So there is the crash that we all expected. Yeah, but the armada is only 1.5 minutes, so it might be done when the game is restarted. I did some German Let's Plays today already, and then I had one complete crash where I really had to, during a flight in the hazard system, where I had to completely restart the device again because the game crashed completely. And that was no fun, because when the game was up again, it took a long time. My cube was destroyed by hazard. That's what I love so much. I don't know how often I've talked to the support about that one already, but yeah. Okay, that's just 20 seconds. I don't need to speed that up anymore. I hate these crashes. Let's see how much we got so far. Just the boxes, not the whole loot. 650k from the uncommon ones and 840k from the rare ones. Haven't done an epic yet. So that one's done. So we go back to the rare ones because that's the main loot I need. And in the meantime, while they're flying, we can have a look at the number of addicts we have now, or the amount of addicts. Yeah, we've been at 7k, now it's 62k. That's why I took the Defiant with me, because that brings me this large amount of addicts. I wouldn't have gotten those if I only flew here with a cube. Although the cube, of course, is more comfy. It's when I'm lazy, I only take the cube here because it's just one ship you have to take care of. And but as you can see, it really is worth it taking the Defiant with you. In my case, of course, both are max for my level where I am. So the cube is T15, and the Defiant is maxed to the limits. The research is all done, and you see how many of these I can do, and they merely have some scorched paint and nothing else. So in the end, it's just some more annoying grind that you have to do, but planning is not something bad. So that's why I said the next tournament is about to come. We don't know exactly when, but usually we know at what time kinda it comes. So it's always worth doing some of these before to make sure that you at least get those 40k from the Borg and the Dominion for the tournament and for your alliance. I had the discussion on a voice chat recently. The tournament is an alliance thing. And of course, there are some bigger players who do not really need anything from this alliance tournament store anymore. But I cannot say it often enough. I am a big fan of team play in this game. That's what alliances are for. And as long as I can, I will not pay real money for a tournament just to complete tasks there. That's my limit. But as long as I can contribute to the tournament with the with all the materials that I have, it's sometimes not possible for me as well to finish that with 150k points or whatever, because I needed a part of my choice tokens now for upgrading or to get to shipyard level 68 because I needed the two new ships, the three new ships. Two are built already, and the third one is still building, but that's my lack of speed ups at the moment. And so I might not always be the biggest contributor in a tournament. But with everything I still have when the tournament is, and my time allows, I had some kind of conference during one tournament, of course, then I cannot do as much as I usually can to complete the tasks there. But in normal cases, I will do the best I can, because I know the league we're in and a lot of other things are decisive for our lower level players. So the tournament is a big help for lower level players nowadays, and they can progress much faster than we could when we were on their level. And so, of course, the Alliance should make it possible for them by everyone taking part. I also hate it when people not even try to do their things because they are low level or whatever. When I was still Admiral, I had the cases in other ABLs, those Alliance leaderboards, ALBs, it was ALBs. In the Alliance leaderboards, where you always had people, when it was about hostile hunting, they shot one hostile to be in the points, and everyone who has scored anything gets the rewards in the end, and others were supposed to do the work. Those were the people, after the third time they did that, I kicked them out of my alliance, because I'm such a big defender of team play that I wasn't having that. I don't know I don't need parasites or leeches or whatever you want to call them. If you cannot contribute because of the lack of time or whatever, that's all fine. Yeah, real life always comes first. But these people have just shown me that they did this strategically. Do their absolute minimum they need to get the rewards. No, there's another player sitting on the Armada. But there we got it. They're doing the absolute minimum to get the rewards, and you knew that this was strategic thinking, because they didn't only do it once, and they didn't say beforehand, I am busy at the moment or whatever. They always did that. And then they're not part of that's not an alliance that I want to have with people like that. And I'd rather have a smaller alliance than an alliance with too many of those parasites. And I was quite frank about that. And I know from chats and talks and whatever that there is a number of these people in this game, but they are not my favorite people, and I don't want to have them in my alliance. So there's no. Seiko was faster. Greetings to Teki, by the way. And we just take another one. But it's not Teki, of course. So then after this one we can have a look how much loot I've got now for the exchanges. But before I do that, there you see why those Let's Plays are something different for me as well, because I can talk about topics like this, like the teamwork in alliances, working on tournaments, for example, even if we're doing something only slightly related because we're just getting loot in preparation. So I can do a number of exchanges for the line tournament. That should be enough for now. Next time we will do another event that's running at the moment when I'm filming, and but next week I will try to do a little, from my point of view, nostalgia with some Borg solo armadas as well, so we complete the picture for the tournament preparation with armada loot. If you have something where you say, yeah, this and that task I would like to see in one of your Let's Plays, please write in the comments below the video and on Discord, and I see that I can build it into my Let's Plays. And also, if you already have discovered this Let's Play channel, which is still brand new, then please let people from your alliance and your server know that it exists. Would be happy if we can get this channel grow as well. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.